Hi guys, hi beautiful people, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. And yes, today's video we're going to be talking about Miss World pageant taking place in Vietnam. And as I record this video, Nigeria has already left for Vietnam. I think about 2 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, she left on Friday the 7th of August, and so far so good. I think she should be arriving in Vietnam today, if I'm not mistaken. But as at the last clip I watched, on the press conference of Miss World, she has not yet arrived Vietnam, and which is very very much concerning for me, because I felt like by now Nigeria should have arrived Vietnam together with the other African countries. And I'm really a little bit concerned because with the press conference that I watched, there were no African countries present at the conference, which is very, very unlike what we've seen in the recent or in previous editions. But I hope that the other African countries should be on their way, or some of them should have arrived Vietnam by now, because of course the opening ceremony is coming up very soon. And we just have few of the ladies from other countries, from other continents, that have arrived Vietnam. Okay, so we are looking forward to a very very beautiful, a very very lovely, and of course a very very interesting Miss World competition this year. You guys know that last year was hosted by India, and of course Thailand won. So this year we're looking forward to an African country winning, because last year an African country was the first runner up in the person of Ethiopia. Yeah, Ethiopia got the first runner up position. So this year we're looking forward to an African country winning the competition. Okay, and of course Nigeria has been topping the charts, in the various predictions that I've seen. Okay, so hopefully I wish Nigeria the best. I wish Soye the best of luck going into this year's competition. And so far she made headlines with her box. She carried about 10 boxes or so to the competition, and I'm like Vietnam should be ready for Nigeria this time around. They should be ready, because Nigeria came in with the style, with the aura, with the steez. 10 boxes of clothes is not easy. Okay, so I believe that Nigeria is well prepared this year for the competition, and hopefully Soye gets the crown for us, for the second time, because it's been a while that Nigeria took the crown, since 2001 that Agbani Darego won. Nigeria is yet to get the second Miss World crown. So of course in the previous years, we have come so close to winning, but we have maintained a good track record in Miss World. And of course this year is not an exception for Nigeria to continue in her placement streak at this Miss World pageant. Okay, so I'm looking forward to covering the pageant with you guys. Of course, yes, Miss World is starting off, and I'm going to be covering the pageant for you guys. Hopefully I try as much as possible to come on live and also to post videos here. And this year we have about 25 African countries participating. Yes, Miss World always records the highest numbers of African countries in the pageant, and it shows the kind of inclusivity that Miss World pageant has, over here in Africa. A lot more African countries want to participate in Miss World. Okay, so this year we have about 25, and I think it's even higher than last year. I think last year we had about 20 contestants. Yes, I remember last year when I covered the show, it was about 20 countries that participated. So this year we're having 25, which is a lot more higher than what we saw last year. All right, so let's hope that the African countries will do very well in this year's Miss World pageant. Of course, you guys know that Miss World is a pageant that is, is all about inclusivity. All the continents are, duly represented in the competition. And also, you guys know that we have the sub competitions, like the top model, the sports competition, the talent round, and every other round that gives points to the candidates. And okay, those points accumulate and places them in the semi-finals. Okay, so it's the sub competitions are very very important in Miss World. Okay, so I would indulge the African countries to take the sub competitions very very seriously, especially the talent, the top model, and the sports segment of the competition. Okay, so yes, let's see what's going to happen in this year's competition. It's going to be a long month, of activities for this year's pageant, and hopefully I'm going to be covering it like I said. Okay, so let's go on to the next gist. You guys know that Miss Universe Nigeria, they've stopped selling the form, and they had the first virtual interview, or the first virtual screening on Saturday, this past Saturday. That was yesterday. They had the first virtual screening for the candidates that applied for this year's Miss Universe Nigeria, and of course we have a lot of comeback queens this year. I talked about one of them in my previous video, so this time around I'm going to talk about the rest of the comeback queens that are coming up back for this year's Miss Universe Nigeria. Okay, so let's look forward to a very, very strong competition. Okay, so first of the comeback queens is Akila Aminu. She was former Miss Supranational Nigeria in the year 2022, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so Akila represented Nigeria in Miss Supranational, and I don't know why she's coming back. Okay, let's say she's coming back for the Miss Universe crown, because of course she cannot be crowned Miss Supranational again because she has already presented the country. So Akila Aminu is coming for this year's pageant, and she's eyeing the Miss Universe Nigeria crown. Okay, so let's hope she gets it. And also another notable queen that is coming back is Boma Dokubo, a former Miss Grand Nigeria in the year 2023. Boma represented Nigeria in Miss Grand International, and she placed in the top 20. She's coming back for Miss Universe Nigeria, but at the same time I want to of course bring my reservations, because for me personally I don't think Boma is a Miss Universe material. No offenses, but for me personally I think she's not really a Miss Universe my material. But at the same time I'm looking forward to her participation. Okay, of course, yes, I'm looking forward to her participation because she's a very, very eloquent queen as well. She's beautiful, she has a stage presence, but when it comes to the organization, when it comes to the particular pageant, I'm always very, very factual. I'm always very, very logical in my thinking. Okay, I don't think Boma is a Miss Universe material, but all the same I'm looking forward to her participation. Okay, so there are a lot of other comeback queens, former MBGN contestants, former Miss Universe contestants, former Miss World contestants that are coming back for this year's competition. Okay, so these are the two notable ones that I'm going to talk about, but there are others that have participated, that have applied for this year's pageant. Like I mentioned, yesterday was the first virtual screening. Okay, so I'm looking forward to the unveiling of the finalists. Of course, you guys know that after the first virtual screening, we have a physical screening where they're going to be unveiling the top finalists for this year's pageant. And rumors have it that this year's Miss Universe Nigeria will be taking place on the 31st of August. And I don't know how true it is, but I just heard rumors that it might happen on that 1st of August. So of course you guys know that it's just a week long of activities, before the pageants. Sorry guys, a week long of activities before the pageant takes place. Okay, so let's see who is going to be unveiled as the finalists for this year's Miss Universe Nigeria. But all the same, let's see how the screening process is going to happen. But for me, the queens that have been coming back for this year's pageant, for me personally, I think that we just have few standouts, but I don't want to talk too much about it until I get to see the finalists. Okay, of course I have my favorites. I have persons that I feel like, oh, they can do very well in the Miss Universe competition taking place in Puerto Rico. But at the same time, we have to know that the organization, of course, the franchise holders of this particular pageant, they are very particular in the type of candidates that they select. Okay, so if you're a comeback queen and you know that you have been coming back once, twice, thrice, just know that you're not taking it, you're not getting it. So I want to say that the comeback queens that are coming, that have participated in the pageant before, I hope that they are ready. I hope that they are physically ready, they are mentally ready, and they are psychologically ready for the competition. Okay, so guys, that's it for this year's this particular edition. This is my official coverage of Miss World pageant 2026. Yes guys, this is my official coverage, so I will be posting more about Miss World content and also Miss Universe Nigeria content. I'll be keeping you guys, abreast of the activities or of the, I'm keeping you guys updated rather of the activities that are going to be taking place in this year's Miss World pageant. Okay, so you guys stay glued to your screens, stay glued to my channel, and if you've not subscribed, please click on the subscribe button. Okay, it's not you don't pay to subscribe. Click on the subscribe button, click on the notification button as well, so that you get notified whenever I post new videos. So yeah, that is it, guys. And of course, like I said, they've appointed some new queens, and I'm going to be showing you guys the appointed queens, and they are of course, Miss Grand Nigeria was appointed some days ago. I posted it on my channel, and Miss Charm Nigeria has been appointed as well. And I don't think I've posted it. Okay, so I'm going to be putting a picture here. Miss Charm Nigeria has been appointed, and she's going to be representing the country in Miss Charm, taking place later in the year. Okay, so of course Nigeria has their representatives to Miss Grand, Miss Charm, Miss Miss Grand and Miss Charm. Okay, so we are hopefully waiting for Miss Universe Nigeria to crown our representative as well. So of course it's going to be a very, very busy pageant season. The rest of the year is going to be very busy pageant season here on my channel. Okay, so but of course I'm dedicating this whole of this month to Miss World and Miss Universe Nigeria. Okay, so stay tuned on my channel for more content, and I'll see you all in my next video coming up very soon. Bye, take care, and have a lovely Sunday.